Good morning. We're going to continue talking about the 500 Montego and freestyle. Um, the fuse was fuse 18. I'm not sure exactly what all it controls, but I was just driving along and the thing died. And I pulled off the side of the road. If that happens to you, do not turn the key off, because if you turn the key off, then if it happens to be that particular fuse, you can't turn the key back on. And it was fuse 15. It was a 10 amp that I couldn't see which one it was. Anyway, that fuse caused some major issues, and I would definitely have a spare. I think that it might have been a fuel pump fuse, but I don't know why it wouldn't turn over. It wouldn't, key wouldn't allow me to turn the switch on anymore, wouldn't allow me to get it out of gear, nothing. So anyway, that's something that you should probably be aware of. The other thing is that on these transmissions, the brake pedal switch is a very important part of the shifting and what have you on those things. And I've actually had to replace a couple of them because the um, um, it, well, pause. Anyway, those things, if you have that CVT with an all-wheel drive, there's also on those the um, stability control, or whatever they call it. It's a little button down on the dash that you can override, that basically whenever you start spinning the wheels, it either, depending on the transmission, it either puts it into neutral or limits the RPMs. And I drove in the oil field in mud, clear up to your knees and ruts and what have you. And the only way you could get in and out of there was to bypass it. I actually blew the engine up in one of them that had a couple 100,000 miles on it. But if you saw what I did to it, you'd understand how it blew up. Anyway, like I say, you need to keep transmissions serviced in these things. The valve body, I tried a valve body in the CVT. It didn't fix it. That thing was smoked. So I had to put a new one in there, new high pressure filter, new fluid, and et cetera. And it all acted fine afterwards, but that's an expensive transmission. The 6-speed that blew the motor mounts up, it was like that when I got it, and it was kind of intermittent. And then it got really bad all of a sudden, boom, and then you got motor mounts out and everything else. Well, just by changing the valve body in there and the fluid fixed that thing. So, and I tried a valve body in the CVT, but it didn't work. But anyway, you guys can try those things and see what happens. The alternator on those, I did an alternator job on it. And a lot of people think you have to drop the suspension bolts and stuff to get that thing out of there. Watch my video, because you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is turn the wheel to the right or to the passenger side, collapse that boot. You don't even have to take the steering tie rod in loose or anything, and you can slide that guy right out of there. There's another guy that's got a video. He shows you he's on a rack. He's all that, blah, 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 blah. But it's easy enough to do. I've taken the doors off. I've taken the windows out. I've done about everything that you can do to these things other than overhaul the engine. The engines in these things are just incredibly good if you change the oil in them. I'm going to stop for now. Thank you. Have a good day.